So after months of traveling in Australia, Americans always say to me, why do you waste your time? Why go there when the USA is way better? But to me, it all comes down to the thing Aussies do in their everyday lives that make Australia so much better than America without even knowing it. And today I want to go over the habits and mindset I picked up in Australia that completely changed how I do and see everything. Now, the first one is to never become a big hat. If you become too full of yourself, your Aussie mates will put you back in your place before you even know it. And that is the exact opposite of the American. Hey, look at me, I'm the only one that matters. Individualistic kind of view. Like, I used to brag about a lot of stuff. Going to a better school, moving up to the CBD, and it wasn't until my Aussie friend said to me, hey, there's a fine line between having ambition and coming across as a massive show-off, mate, that completely shattered my terrible way of thinking. But that is even more obvious among Aussie celebrities. Like, once you become too popular overseas, you know, you made it to Paris, Hollywood, you talk differently, you behave differently. Well, that's when you lose the support of the Aussie population. And perhaps this is what makes Australia so relaxed and welcoming. Well, American society only focuses on the top 1% of the richest stupids. But now, even outside of Australia, I constantly have to remind myself, well, am I being self-centered again? Maybe nobody needs to know that outside of close friends and family, etc. But surprise, surprise, that is not the biggest Aussie habit that America needs right now. Because up next, we have to talk about the highly critical sun awareness of Australia. As them Aussie mates put it, getting a suntan is not worth dying for, as the sun might as well be a freaking laser beam in Australia. Y'all forgot to take care of your skin? Y'all will regret it, my man. Well, America is still stuck in the, hey, you need to go out there and get enough sunlight, kind of dangerous 21st century mindset. But Australia wasn't always like this. I believe that about 50 years ago, putting on sunscreen was still being seen as weak and oh, stop being so dramatic. But it wasn't until the early 80s, after a crazy good campaign, Lunch and Victoria called the slip, slop, slap. Man, that jingle is still playing in my head. That so many Aussies suddenly became serious about protecting themselves against the sun. Cause frankly, when you notice your skin can't take it anymore, then it's already too late for it. And also sunglasses, bro. I also begun to always have one of those after my trip to Australia. Even if the weather looks like you don't need any protection at all, it's still way better to play it safe. And those two Aussie habits probably saved my life more than anything. But that is not the only Aussie mindset. I will take it all the way to my grave in America. Because up next, your Aussie fellas shatter the way I used to look at breakfast, or brekkie as you love to call it. They should be good. It's the most crucial meal of the day. It has to be good. Since you will always hear about how Aussies drink at dinner, but have the biggest meal of the day at breakfast. And I was like, how do y'all guys function for the whole day after eating that? Which is the complete opposite of the American. Well, I'll just have something easy and maybe a cup of coffee and then go and eat whatever junk food we want at the end of the day. Kind of eating habit. But after weeks of following how you guys eat and how seriously you take what's in your brekkie every single day, I have to say, it makes all the sense in the world to eat enough in the morning and then use all the power to smash the stop button. Just y'all don't want to miss the next video, mate. And then gradually reduce the amount you eat throughout the day. And not to mention that the breakfast in Australia is so incredibly good wherever you eat. Like when the locals say to me, just go out and eat whatever. What they really mean is that the level of breakfast quality is so amazing that it's almost impossible to find something you don't like. But taking breakfast seriously actually wasn't the biggest lesson you guys taught me, because Americans really should stop being so obsessed with American religion. Because in Australia, talking about your religion can be seen as weird. Asking others about their religion is even weirder, bro. Like, when's the last time you talked to an American and they're like thanking God and the divine power in every single sentence? In the place where I volunteer, we even have a hidden rule of thanking God God in every single tweet because God makes America the greatest in the universe, or whatever they say. I mean, the president calls himself God all the time. What do y'all expect? But you can be friends with your Aussie mates for decades without knowing if they're actually religious or not. And I simply believe that's a better way to go about it, as well as politics, bro. I literally never heard anyone talking about Australian politics, even during the election, man. Maybe you would see like political campaigns for 6 weeks before elections in Australia, but that's it. Whereas in America, it's politics after another protest after politics. Bro, last time I checked, politicians don't put food on our table. So why is everyone so obsessed with them? Also, if I'm not mistaken, the politicians in Australia also don't have as much power as the ones in America, right? Like one of my Aussie mates said, the worst thing politicians can do is to ban social media until you're 16. But with or without social media, the next thing Aussies told me quite literally changed my life forever. And that is, instead of being formal and calling someone sir, miss, or madam, why don't you turn that into a mate? Like, imagine how shocked I was to find out that addressing your boss with their title alongside the Mr. or Miss is actually considered weird in Australia. Y'all think you're being polite, bro? Nah, you're just weird. Like, maybe you would hear that in the military and crazy official places, but outside of that, if someone is still kicking and alive, that's a mate. But Aussies are also polite enough when it comes to passing someone in the bush. Like one of those isolated places, you will make eye contact, you will say hi. So you can say Aussies are a bit laid back when it comes to formality, but you guys are still the most polite people on the planet. But the biggest lesson I learned from you guys is don't take it personally. Just relax, mate. Australians sure love a fun little joke. It's the best part of Aussie culture. Like, it took me so long to figure out that if someone calls you a champ, a good mate, hey, that's your good mate over there. That means they don't like you. Like, if something is funny, your Aussie mates would say it. No hesitation. As they know, y'all probably say the same stuff. But America's getting so formal and restrained these days that y'all can't even say anything funny without first going through, wait, am I being insensitive? Is anyone's feeling gonna get hurt? Am I gonna get cancelled on social media? To the point that I believe all we need to do to make America great again is just a little bit of Aussie humor sprinkled throughout America. And the draw bears, bro, I need like 6 of them to protect my house from all the breaking and entering. So I visited Australia about 6 times in my life, and now I have begun to think the bus driver, the chef in the kitchen, or maybe a stranger on the hiking trail. Like, Aussies taught me more about life than all the books in America you can buy. And for that, I want to say that Starbucks is good coffee. Wait, what do y'all mean I'm banned from entering Australia ever again? But that would not be as terrible as the Australian inventions literally stolen by Americans. Because in this video, I want to show it to you the top 11 things invented by Aussies, but Americans took all the credit for them. But the only way to find that out is to check out the video.